we saw a lot of, kind of a lot more of that Trump whiplash that we're used to seeing. So we saw over the weekend that the U.S. is deploying a bunch of soldiers to the Middle East, right? 82nd Airborne is over there. That's one of the largest airborne companies. So, or battalions. So that is, uh, a pretty big escalation. Meanwhile, while we're seeing all of that, we're once again hearing that, oh well, they're negotiating and they're giving us most of what we want. And then later in the day, after Trump is saying that we're getting most of what we want in negotiations, we're suddenly hearing, um, that he said, well, my favorite thing to do would just be to go take the oil. So that doesn't sound very peaceful, for one. And number two, our mediators in Pakistan, right? Our mediators in Pakistan are basically saying, yeah, Iran never agreed to anything. So, hard to tell again what is actually true. And yeah, oil's been flying. We are seeing. Let me pull that up for you guys. And I'll show you. So oil is sitting persistently above $100 per barrel. It's looking to break out on the daily time frame of this little range that it's been in. The first breakout attempt was denied, but you know we're still going to be tracking this. Um, there's a really good shot that oil just keeps going up. I don't see a world where any of this gets resolved anytime soon. Just based on past conflicts, it's not something that we see. So I already have our liquidity levels on the daily time frame drawn out. Uh, I guess the next thing to do, let's go down to the 4 hour, and we will get some of these drawn out as well for you guys. So that way we know what levels specifically we could expect to act as support and resistance. And after we get all that done, I want to talk about a few individual assets, a few specific equities, because there really is a lot to talk about. Also, if you haven't seen it, we released a very in-depth video on private credit, what it is, what it does, the purpose it serves, and you know the situation that these private credit firms kind of find themselves in. So be sure to check that out. You could check that out by going to the YouTube. You can find that on socials, and it was also posted in announcements. So be sure to, you know, take a little bit of time and familiarize yourself with that. I think that it is going to become increasingly important to understand that, um, you know, as time kind of moves on, right? As we move through all of these troubles in the market, it's going to be more important to be able to, at least have a basic understanding of private credit and the role that they play. So please, invest a little bit of time in yourselves, learn about it. The resources are here. We're trying to teach you, right? We're trying to teach you everything that you need to know. So take advantage. Take advantage. And yes, we do have quite a few lines. Um, Realistically, we probably won't end up using most of them, but good to have them just in case we end up needing them. Like, I would be absolutely just blown away if we could move up here. Absolutely blown away. Does it mean it won't happen? No. It just means that it would be really surprising. It would be really surprising. So yeah, we've gotten a little bit of again mixed signals regarding the conflict in the Middle East. That's pretty much all of the news from this weekend. I don't think much else really happened. Um, just more of the same, right? More, oh well, they're gonna give up. They're gonna give up, and then you know, they don't. So just be aware that things are really hard to trust right now. Okay, it's really hard to trust uh, anything that we're hearing because there's so many conflicting sources, and I'm inclined to believe that they are not right. They being Iran, that they are not conceding anything to us. Right? They don't want to make a deal. They want us to fuck off. That's what they want. They want the US to fuck off. And I don't think that's going to happen either. So, just be aware. Be aware of what is going on. Okay. Yeah, see, so you're getting all of these crazy articles and crazy posts on Truth Social and whatnot. For any newbies in the room, how far back do you typically go on the time scale when making your liquidity lines for the NAS and the Dow? So it really kind of depends. When I'm looking at the daily, I'll normally go back like a few weeks, or in some cases, even a month or two. Uh, when I get down to the 4 hour, I'm looking at the same I'm looking at the same spot or the same range that I was on the daily, except it's basically just zooming it in. It's kind of putting it under a microscope, right? The 1 hour puts it further under that microscope and you use the same area. Then we go to the 15 minutes. I normally do the last 2 days for the 15 minutes. And for the 1 minute, I just do like the current day generally. So that would look like this. Right, and then we can see that there's a nice little cluster of volume right here where we're consolidating. Got a potential top. And, again, like we're green today. We're getting a little bit of a recovery. Is this a dead cat bounce? I don't know. What I do know is that you don't trust the first big spike that happens. Well, I guess the second, because we already got one you couldn't trust. But don't trust it. Don't trust it. Right? Because things are still cooked. Sentiment is still really bad. The economy is still not doing great here in the U.S. So just bear all of that in mind as you're seeing these big swings, these big fluctuations in price up and down. Okay, just keep all that in mind. Next thing that I want to talk about is VCX. So VCX is another one of those private credit funds that I was just speaking about. And these guys have been on a roller coaster ride since they IPO'd. And if you need to know what a roller coaster ride really looks like, then look no further. Look no further, right? So we'll measure this, and you will see that in 6 days after IPO, this went up 1,777%. And then after hitting that peak, we get the actual price action and reaction, which is minus 71.59%. And you think, oh man, could it go lower? Yes. Yes. Because these guys, these guys are holding about like $28 of assets per share. Okay. They have a bunch of speculative investments that they are very underwater on. They decided to hand a bunch of money to Anthropic. They handed a bunch of money to OpenAI, and they are having some severe liquidity issues. And because they couldn't get out of these investments and they couldn't pay anyone in order to basically enhance their liquidity, that is why they IPO'd, right? They offered to the public so that way insiders could have a way out. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? It's just a big fucking scam. Okay. So, you know, that's just another example of that. If you want to see like what some of the other, private credit companies are looking like, well, pretty much all of them have a chart just like this. That's death. That is absolute death. So again, private credit, very important. Riley, right in the middle of this demand zone. Again, we are expecting, or not expecting, it's scheduled for uh, the full year earnings for 2025 and for the fourth quarter earnings. And also, they will be having a earnings conference call. And all of that is going to be happening tomorrow, Tuesday, after the market closes. So we're going to want to definitely keep an eye on that. I'm actually just going to keep that one up because I would like to watch it today, especially if we end up continuing green, which will be really interesting. And let's go ahead and go over to our old friend, US 30. So I already have the liquidity levels for like the longer time frames drawn out. Because of where we are in the chart, we don't really have too many like big macro levels. Off those longer term um, levels. I mean, they just don't exist. They don't exist right now. We don't really have anything in recent memory to compare to because the last time that we were down here was literally in September. So there's not much for comparison in the recent past. And yeah, we're kind of really starting to see that potential liquidation that we've been talking about in stream every day, right? This position where funds are extremely underwater and they're being margin called. And if they can't meet those margin calls because they're having liquidity issues within the fund, then they're forced to liquidate their positions. And that means buying up their shorts, covering and closing those short positions, and selling out of their long positions. And trust me when I say that they bought the fucking top. Okay. They were the ones that were propping NASDAQ and US 30 and the S&P 500. They're the ones that prop it up. It's not us. But believe it or not, the little $1,000, $2,000 that we're trading is not moving, $1 trillion markets. So just keep that in mind, right? These guys are super bagged. And number one, they're going to do anything that they can to get out of it, right? This is survival mode for them. And number two, if for whatever reason they are unable to survive, right? They're unable. To be honest with you, I would expect a government bailout, or rather, several government bailouts. And, even before that, I would expect just a lot of really, really violent moves to the downside. So let's see what ends up happening today. Good chance that we get a little bit of relief. I think that overall the trajectory is down, like for the foreseeable future. But you know, if you want to look at like the biggest green days that have happened in the last 100 years, almost all of those big green days come in the middle of a crash, but they generally don't exceed, they don't make new highs. So that could look something like we lose 8% and then boom, we go up 8%. But going up 8% after you've dropped 8%, that still leaves you down, right? So even though you got a big 1 day run, you're still down on the week. So take advantage if we can, right? We're going to try to take advantage of any big pop that happens if it happens, but we're not going to be delusional, and we're not going to get it into our heads that, oh yeah, no, this thing's going to the moon, all the concerns are over, because that is the mental trap they want you to fall in. Like how can big money get out of bad positions? Big money can get out of bad positions by making, or by having you buy it, right? And then your role is to be that exit liquidity. Your role is to be that exit liquidity. So, that's something that we really do need to be aware of, not only when we're talking about individual tickers, but in the indices in general. U.S. Treasury Secretary says ship traffic through Strait of Hormuz is rising after individual trade deals with Iran. Will this make oil prices go down? Maybe a little bit, but not really, and not likely. Oh shit! What's up, Feo? Yeah, Basent is absolutely just another talking head. Yeah, he's not making calling any shots, making any deals. He's basically just a loyalist, right? He's a loyalist of Donald Trump. So you know, don't trust much that he says. And yeah, that's about what I have to say about Treasury Secretary Basent. I don't think that he's actually really guiding any helpful policy. Um, so just be very aware of the situation that we currently find ourselves in. Big money is in their death throes. They're fighting and fighting and fighting. They are going to be trying to do anything that they can to get out of this situation, including, selling all of their bags to potentially 401ks and pensions. That's something that we saw in 2008. They got to offload everything into people's retirement accounts, and they fucked an entire generation of people over. They fucked an entire generation of people over. So, and they walked away, actually, in case you didn't know this. They walked away with no repercussions. No charges got filed for any of that. So, yeah. Yeah, that's something that we could potentially see happening again today. right? We can all go fuck ourselves, apparently, according to them, anyways. But here in this room, we're going to be watching very closely. Now, we are finding some support um, at this higher level, right? It's kind of similar to what we found here, and I do find that quite interesting. Like this thing is primed for some big moves on opening. So I'm hoping we don't get a muted open. I'm hoping we get honestly like a really crazy chaotic open because that will give us some really interesting opportunities. Some very interesting opportunities. But we'll see what happens. We have about 30 minutes before the market opens. So, you know, we'll just hang tight and we'll see what's going on. Icarus, did you have anything that you wanted to touch on?
No, you pretty much covered everything.
Yeah, just lots of goofiness right now. I know. It's
The market is just completely bollocks.
dude, they have no idea what the fuck's going on. And in all fairness, right? Like we understand the game that's being played, but we don't know what the ultimate destination of this is, right? Like I don't have a crystal ball. Okay. I can't see the future. But I could say that like we've seen very similar things happen in the past, right? We saw very similar things unfolding with the dot com bubble popping. We saw very similar things unfold in 2007. So, kind of a funny thing that happened, I guess. I mean, it's not really funny. It's kind of shitty and a little bit, makes us maybe a little bit nervous. UBS. So that is the largest Swiss bank. UBS has halted any kind of withdrawals for up to 3 years from one of their European, or rather their largest European real estate fund and a few other real estate funds. And what that means is that these guys are underwater on those investments. And when investors come to get money from them, they're saying, well, we don't have it because we're stuck bag holding bad investments that we made. So you can't get your money. And that's something that we have been seeing starting to happen in private credit. Again, if you didn't see that video, you need to watch it. It's going to explain a whole lot. Um, but that's something that we have seen a bit of in private credit, and now we're starting to see instead of the alternate asset managers, right, having that happen, we're starting to see that spill out into banks, into some of the largest banks. In fact, UBS is not a small company. Like UBS is currently a $112 billion company. So again, this is not like your small fry local bank that's just available in your town. These guys are an international investment titan. And they are having to limit withdrawals out of some of their funds because they are fucking bagged. So for those of you that have been in on, this stream for a while and have been coming and hanging out, right? Like this is all stuff that we've been kind of predicting for the last month or so. Like we've been talking about this. And now it's starting to kind of come true. So I think that there will be like some generational short opportunities. And I'm not saying that it's going to be today, but I think that there are some really, really big ones coming. So if you would like to take advantage, what I would recommend you do is you find all of the absolute fattest pigs, the fattest, most overvalued pig stocks that you can, and just take out some small put positions on them, right? Take out some small put positions, let everything die, and yeah, just reap it in, man. Reap in that money. Uh, there we go. Okay. So yeah, we're kind of finding some support here. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm really hesitant to trust any like big green move. I know that they happen. Um, I know that there's potential here today that we do see something like that. Like if we go out to the daily, it wouldn't be out of the question for us to come out and get up to like 571. I wouldn't really expect us to proceed up from there, but that wouldn't be out of the question at this point, right? 571, maybe up into the low 700s. And then I would anticipate that we would just begin selling off again, right? So we saw something very similar happen here, right? We gap down, you get this big green day. We end up selling off down to this liquidity level. And the next day, what do? Draw down, right? Nice little doji, indecision, change of trend, and death. So what you saw happen here, this whole sequence, this could play out right here too. In fact, they look really similar, don't they? So we're going to keep an eye on it. We're going to keep an eye on it. I don't think we have any super big earnings today.
No, but FOMC is talking.
We do have FOMC, yeah, but nothing big. To be honest with you, I feel like FOMC is just there's not going to be any change here. Like there's not going to be any change. So I'm not too concerned about that. What do I know that you don't? Nothing. Okay, so I'm going to teach you guys about pensions, right? Because Ironbird says he doesn't really know how the whole pension stuff works. So basically, yes, they do have big, charming salesmen to sell the pensions, to sell a bunch of garbage to pensions. Okay. The people that run the big pension fund, they understand the game, right? The pensions are often exit liquidity for the bank's bad investments, right? And they help prop up the market, right? People rely on them. So they aren't just this opaque thing, they're very real, right? They're very real in the impact that they have with citizens. But the people that are running the pension fund don't give a shit because they get paid a percentage of the assets under management. So their goal is to then not really manage the money in a safe and healthy way. Their goal is to get more people to put their money in so that way they can charge them fees. They can charge them management fees. So if we look at, for instance, like 2008, American pensions and 401ks, the institutions that were managing them literally bought up as much as they possibly could of all of the really bad like CLOs, right? That existed from the 2008 housing bubble. And they helped kind of give Wall Street a little bit of a way out. I mean, obviously, it wasn't enough. They had to get bailed out, and two major firms collapsed. And but like there are regulations that have kind of fixed uh, some of this, right? It's not the Wild West like it was, but just realize the game that gets played. Okay, understand understand the situations that we get placed into constantly. Like if anyone was ever under any kind of assumption that that Wall Street was here to help, well, you're wrong. And I want to make sure that you're not being disillusioned into thinking that they're here for your benefit. There we go. Okay, we're seeing a little bit of a breakdown, breaking support, which is nice. Okay, cool. We're seeing the same thing on NASDAQ. Very interesting. Very interesting. Again, I don't like to trade pre-market, and the reason that I don't like to trade pre-market is basically because of this shit, right? Because we had 30 minutes of nothing. 30 minutes of trading in a $20 range. So, yeah. New York opens in 20 minutes. So we have a little bit more time. We have a little bit more time. But we're getting there. We're getting there. I was kind of hoping we were going to have a little bit more news to discuss today from over the weekend, but that ended up not being the case. So, yeah, just not really much to talk about. Um, nothing really changed, despite people saying that it did. It hasn't. So, yeah, we're just going to be we are just going to be waiting. Oh, while we're waiting, can I teach you to swim? No. What kind of fucking question is that? I can't do that. You think I know how? I don't know how. If I was a lifeguard, you'd be fucked. Okay? You'd be fucked. I can't help you there. Do I think that there's any quick potential on VIX? Yes. Absolutely. So if you guys aren't familiar with VIX, right? VIX is the volatility index. It's also often called the fear index. It is used as a hedge by pretty much all the institutions. And while it is a little bit red today because we're getting some of this volatility is kind of being, you know, almost kind of drained out, if that makes sense, right? Because we had this big downward shake, and now we're starting to kind of, recover up a little bit. That is reducing some of the overall volatility as we start to kind of revert closer to the mean. So, maybe not right this second, but yes, there is a lot of opportunity trading the VIX and especially trading UVIX, which is a 2 times levered um, volatility instrument, right? So it's levered to be 2 times long, and there's a lot of opportunity. You don't want to hold it long, right? So please bear in mind that if you're trading UVIX, okay, if you are trading UVIX, it is a trade. It is not an investment. You do not want to hold a levered single asset ETF for any kind of substantial amount of time. You really don't. Kira asking, what do I base my entries off of? So for the most part, I base my entries kind of according to um, what I feel, number one, right? How I feel about the direction of the market. Number two, I look for a clean break of structure, and I look to see where we are in relation to these liquidity levels. I also generally am looking at the order book, right? So I want to see that. And we have, of course, our handy heat map indicator, which, we could probably just turn that on now. It's about time. It's about time for the heat map anyways. We're not too far away from market open. We could do that. So if you guys aren't familiar, this is like our custom proprietary indicator here in this room. It was coded to basically replicate a lot of the lessons and use a lot of the lessons that have been taught and are taught in this Discord. And basically, what this shows you is it shows you where there is buying and selling pressure, right? And it's able to attach a little bit of information to it regarding like how many buyers are there versus sellers in any given candle, right? So this helps a lot. Just at a glance, we could see, okay, out of 278 volume, there's 74 more sells than buys, right? Does that does that track with what we're looking? It's exactly that. It's delta volume. Like literally, you could see it right there, delta. I just didn't want to go into delta because I don't know if there's like newer folks, so I want to make sure that everyone can understand what the fuck I'm talking about. um, but yeah, it maps out like the value area high, the point of control, value area low for recent price action, and it'll shift them live, which is really helpful. It shows who's dominating the tape at the moment. Obviously, in pre-market, it's always kind of a shit show, which is why I don't like trading right now. Um, and I just wait for New York Open. But it also gives us like a little confidence measure um, with a little proprietary code there that we're not going to be able to reveal. And yeah, no, it's I mean it's a really solid indicator. So it helps us tremendously when we're looking to have a little bit of context added to what we're seeing on the tape, right? We want to add a little bit more context to our chart, and this is a really, really good solution to that problem. But yeah, that is basically what I'm looking at. I have a few different things that I like to line up for my entries. It's not super complicated like ICT is, where you have to look at 50 fucking things, miss your entry, and then get bagged holding some stupid shit that you should have never traded. Right? It's not like that. What it is just basically this indicator is a tool for good decision making, and we try to take the most relevant things when we're looking for our entries, right? Again, break of structure. We want to understand the macro conditions that are happening. We want to understand how funds are positioning themselves, right? We want to capture momentum. We want to trade with the trend. Like the entries are pretty simple usually. I mean, this isn't really rocket science, right? Especially when you're scalping. Things get a little bit more difficult if you are swing trading or if you are long-term investing. But if we're just scalping, right? Like these are quick in and out. You're rarely going to hold something for longer than 30 minutes. Right? Very seldomly are you actually going to hold this. So it's yeah, yeah, pretty easy. We're not looking to do anything super difficult. 30 minutes is very long for a scalp. We've had it happen before here in stream.
We did, yeah. It was pain.
Yeah, but it doesn't happen often. Okay. And that's the point, right? Is that these are quick, dirty trades meant to cash you up and give you a little bit of money. Okay. That's all we're doing here. We're teaching technical analysis and we're taking quick, dirty trades. If you want to learn how to take those bigger trades where you could see some really crazy gains, then what you need to do is you need to sign up for the Warrior program, because that's where I put all of like the equity and option swing trades that I do. Right? That's where I put all of it. Gassion, is that French? Gassion. What is your view on Nasdaq? Is it still bearish or bullish? Well, it depends on the time frame. It really depends on the time frame. Right? If you're going to say the next 2 months, bit bearish. If you're going to say the next 10 years, pretty bullish. You're saying today? Yeah, it beats me, dude. We're going to see when the market opens. We're going to see when the market opens. Right now it seems like we're getting a little bit of a recovery, but again, right? We're going to go to the daily. Let's go to the daily and see what happens. Oh, completely unable to get even halfway through this candle. It's pretty bearish. So, again, really depends on the time frame. Like, realize that in finance and in financial markets and in this game of trading, right? The specifics really matter, because what can be true sometimes is not true all the time. Right? It's not always true. So we want to take a look at that. I'm going to look at this real quick. What is this? BRC Specialty Finance, short midterm capital needs of underserved U.S. public companies with, okay. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. I didn't see that, but that is pretty cool. I do like that the day before their earnings. Like, to be honest, I do like that. I think that is a really strong business model. So, feeling pretty positive about that, actually, Unsung. Thank you for pointing that out. I hadn't seen that yet, because that news just hit this morning, and well, I was a little bit focused on trying to catch up on some of the stuff that happened this weekend. So
You're missing your coffee time, Grandpa.
yes, I am. Yes, I am. Okay. I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna toss it over to Icarus for just a few minutes. You can listen to his wonderful Deutsch voice, and yeah, we'll continue going from there. Just give me just a little bit. I will be right back. Oh, what? Oh, what do you need? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Oh shit! What's up? I could let him stream.
I'm not going to show anything.
Oh, this fucking guy. See?
I'm gatekeeping my stuff. No. I'm just gonna have a little talk.
He's just gonna have a little talk. We're gonna put Nasdaq back up. Oof. Okay. I will be right back. And then the market will be open and we'll be good to go. Just give me just a minute. Icarus, floor
All
is
right.
yours.
Thank you. Thank you. So, today I want to give you a structured overview of the current market environment, not from a trading setup perspective, but from a systemic perspective. What we are seeing right now is not just volatility, and it is not just a normal correction. The market is currently operating under a regime of systemic stress. The warriors know what I'm talking about because I made a file yesterday for that. We also have a regime transition from January to March. Over the past months, we have seen a clear transition. In January, volatility was still relatively localized. Certain assets were moving aggressively, but the system was a whole. By February, this changed. Stress started to spread across multiple asset classes. Correlations began to weaken, and traditional relationships between markets became less reliable. We've seen that because of the scam wicks and all that stuff. Now, at the end of March, we are in a different phase. The system is no longer absorbing the stress efficiently. Instead, stress is being internalized and redistributed across markets. The current market behavior is an environment where volatility is not resolving but continuously reappearing in different areas. This is exactly why the price action feels so inconsistent. We are seeing rapid expansions followed by immediate reversals. Moves that look like breakouts fail almost instantly. And mid range price action has become increasingly unreliable. This is not random behavior, this is a structural characteristic of the current regime. Then we also can take a look at like crypto. It's a liquidity buffer. Many people don't know what I'm talking about when I'm saying this, but crypto, on the other hand, continues to act as a liquidity buffer. We are seeing consistent downside pressure with short periods of consolidation followed by further sell offs. This behavior is typical for a market that is absorbing stress through deleveraging. Then we also have the fragmentation. Another key aspect of the current environment is fragmentation. Markets are no longer moving in a synchronized way. Different asset classes are reacting differently, depending on where stress is currently being expressed. This reduces the reliability of traditional signals and increases overall uncertainty. JP, fuck off. I'm not reading ChatGPT. I made this fucking file yesterday. Instead, you can also just take a look at it. Exactly, chosen. That's what I'm saying. I'm with the clankers. Fuck humans. All right. Do you guys have any questions? I will never. JP, he doesn't have a special rule. It's just the real trader rule because he showed a payout. It's still inferior to Warrior. MK, I am not bullish today. And Aspect, I think that I can cancel your worry at any time. Just kidding. So, 30 seconds. Let's get it. And here, yes, admin abuse to the fullest. I don't give a fuck.
All right. And market is open. Get a nice break here, a nice break of structure. This could be potentially be a good short, but I kind of want to wait, so I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait because I want to. We want to see. We want to see, you know, a really strong, decisive move. So far, this has been a little muted. I mean, mind you, this is only $26. This candle, like this is actually really small. It only looks like a big candle because I'm zoomed in. Right? You'll see that we're still just kind of sitting in that range. And I don't want to trust, you know, necessarily the first big move. Like I want to see what actually ends up happening here. Okay. That's something. That's something. Wait this out a little bit. Wait this out. Let's get some confirmation, okay? Because we haven't really confirmed a true direction yet. Right? Imagine if we just shorted right on this break. You know, we probably wouldn't have taken profits, you know, $4 away, and you know, things would be looking a little bit grim. So hang out for a sec. Let's see what's going on. Want to make informed decisions. We're not reacting based on emotion here. It won't help you if you are trying to rush this process. So just hang out and wait. US 30 doing basically the same shit, except you know, way bigger wicks. Just kind of hanging out. Not really interested in trading a small range like that. It's not for me. It's not for me. We're just hanging out. We're just hanging out. Okay? Nothing too out of the ordinary here so far. And because it's not out of the ordinary, it's not something that we're super interested in.
Well, the current volatility disruption is a bit high. Other than that, maybe the deviation
A little bit.
from the average.
Yeah, no, and a little bit, right? A little bit. But this still isn't at a position where we really want to make any kind of decisions, right? Like this is definitely preparing for a move, but we're not quite there yet. And
if anything, it'll be short.
I think so. I think so because this is weak, right? Like it just, you could tell that it was propped up right here. It was propped up right at the value area low, but you know, it got stopped right up here.
Yeah, right now it's doing everything to not fall back
Here
into
we
the
go.
average.
But it's about to happen, I think. We're very close. We're very close. At this current level, we're close. We're not there yet. See, I could see a short playing out down towards this area right here, this little pocket of liquidity. Let's see how it reacts to this liquidity level, because we might get a decent short opportunity off of it. I want to see us break through it and continue moving down, which might happen here in a second. How do I know there's a pocket of liquidity there? Look, these are two of our macro liquidity levels, and look at how much time we spend in there. I think it's time to enter. I think it's time to enter a small short on NASDAQ, to be honest. I think I've seen enough.
All right, I've entered at 278.
Yep, I'm in. I'm in. I got my entry at 275. So we'll see what happens here.
I want to see it go at least to 250 until I go break even.
I am going to set my stop up at about 300. And you said, what did you want for a break even?
250, which is about now.
It's about to happen, yeah. It's about to happen. We're very close. But we'll just hang out. We'll wait. No rush. We'll just sit and I guess watch the fucking market die together, right?
All right,
There
I
it
think
is.
I'm gonna take profits here. I'm out.
I feel like there's more coming. I feel like there's more downside coming.
It wasn't enough volume for me to feel confident in this move.
We do have different charts, JP, because I'm using the CFD chart. I'm going to take profits here. All right. And I'm out. Okay, that was a good little small. That was a good little small one to start off the day. That was a good small one. Okay, let's see what happens next. We're going to see if we're able to find support here. We did find support here in the past. Doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to find support here, but you know, there's at least a little bit of potential. So I wanted to make sure that I was securing my profits here. Icarus did the exact same thing. So, you know, we're chugging along. We just got to wait and see what happens next, right? We caught a decent move down, and now we'll see what happens next. That was a good start. Just a real small, quick trade. It was a good start. Ultimately, I really do feel like this is going to go lower, but you know, we could always re-enter when we do get a little bit of confirmation on that. And you might think, oh, but couldn't you have made more just by holding on to it if you thought it was going to go down? Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could have, but then you're also taking more risk. So it's nice to take the risk off the table, because now our next trade, we could just trade off the profits. right?
It's always the coulda, woulda, shoulda that costs you money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. We don't want to trade based on hopes or feelings. Like we're really just looking at market structure here. But again, everything is kind of in the back of my mind that, well, I do think that this goes lower ultimately. But when we're seeing this, right, this is potentially a little bit supportive. So no rush. No rush. Okay. We have nothing but time. If anything, US 30 is showing a little bit more strength than NASDAQ. I mean, not really much more, but at least a little more. I'm not bullish on US 30. I'm just saying that it was showing a little bit more strength. And now it's actually, ooh, if we can get through this pocket of liquidity, look at where our next big level is.
I'm entering small short here.
It's about that time. I want to see us break through this like 220 area. Realistically, that's what I'd really like to see. Okay, I'm ready to short. I'm not in yet. I am ready.
All my days.
Entering.
Taking profits.
No, I'm entering.
Whew.
I'm entering right here. I'm in.
It's gonna approach the deviation band at 197. Now that was quick.
That was a quick little shakedown, wasn't it? But I think there's more, so I'm in. Right? I got filled at like, I don't know, is this 205? Yeah, 205.
Damn, you got filled that low? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know. But I also waited. Right? I also waited. So I'm going to set my stop, I think up here at 215. We're just going to really play this one close to the vest. We're going to have a nice tight stop, and we will see what happens from here. Again, there's no rush. So everybody keep out of your heads, right? No emotions. We are relaxed. We're calm. And we're going to react to whatever the market throws at us.
I heard beach party after the stream.
You heard incorrectly. Okay, I'm stopped out. All right, got a small win, got an even smaller loss. We're still in good shape today. Let's see what happens as we test this little pocket of liquidity here. Orders being held back. Was kind of expecting him to hold it back until the next candle and just fucking gap it, but we didn't really get that. We did get two very clean rejections. Pardon me. From two really clear rejections from this little zone of liquidity here. This little pocket. Yeah. You definitely don't want to feel those emotions, Kira. Like you gotta be able to just Kira? I don't know. Maybe you'll tell me.
Kira. It's from an anime.
Okay. Yeah. See, I don't know any of that. I don't know any of the anime stuff. But yeah, like you really got to just be able to keep super even and calm and again, right? Like watch what's happening. Watch what's happening. Because when people are trading on emotions, generally they're gonna make some really big boneheaded mistakes, right? They're gonna do dumb shit, and we don't want to do dumb shit. We want to do smart shit. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Is you have to you have to not think about the money, right? You have to think about the process and what you're doing. Great job, WLMD. Be sure to go post those gains for free chat to see. Let them know what the fuck they're missing out on. But great job. Like truly, that was very well done. And yeah, if you guys want to do this every day, be sure to join up with our warrior program. And if you have any questions about is it worth doing? Well, I mean, there's an entire group of people here that'll tell you, that we do this every day and that we're really good at it. So, something to keep in mind. US 30 testing this value area low is really interesting to me. Everything looks like it's just on the verge, right? It's right on the edge of going a lot lower. So we just watched value area low shift down on US 30 as more volume kind of piles up right here. Can you go to the moon, please, Riley? Riley Moon? No, not today.
Shit, I'm almost inclined to say I'm along here on Nasdaq.
Really?
Yeah,
You're just seeing this like support kind of show up. I don't know, man. I think I would wait. I think I would wait. I want to see a break of structure.
I am waiting.
Ooh, that is
That's a
that's
scam candle.
potentially
I can
funky.
smell
Yeah,
that.
just wait, just wait. Just hang out. We're gonna see what happens. And yes, you're gonna hear me say wait a lot, right? You're gonna hear me say wait a whole lot because a lot of what we end up doing is waiting. If you're doing this correctly, and if you're trading correctly, you will inevitably spend a lot of your time just sitting and waiting. That's the truth, right? You have to be this way. It's not like an option like, oh, well, I guess I could be patient. Like, no, you have to be patient. It's a requirement. That little pump gave back pretty much everything on that candle. We'll see what happens. You can't really call that a pump.
I am gonna
Like
be
a
right back.
brief bounce. Okay. See you in a second, bud. Oh, we missed that opportunity on US 30. We missed out on that one. It could potentially still keep going lower. I mean, it's going lower now. Yeah, I agree, Eisen. I agree, Eisen. I would want to see that little retrace before going lower. Let's look at this on a little bit of a larger time frame for US 30. We were very, very close. We're very close to just dropping on NASDAQ. This is close, man. Anytime now. Anytime. Whenever you'd like to just fucking die for us, please. NASDAQ to 0. NASDAQ to 0. Huh? Oh, man, that thing's about to fall. Let's see how we... Oh, okay. Entering small short here. And I'm in. I got my fill at 169. Let's see what happens. Ooh. I'm just hanging out. I don't even have a stop set yet. I think I'm probably going to be setting it up towards 200, though, to be so honest with you. Because I think what we're hunting for here is a big one. Unironically, my target is going to be below 132. We got to get the Jeopardy music queued up, man, while we're just fucking waiting for this thing. To be honest with you, I'm almost considering on doubling down on this short, which I won't recommend that you do. It's a little bit riskier, but I'm really feeling some kind of way about this price action right now. Decisions. Yeah, I'm going to add to the short here. Okay. I filled. I got my
Where?
190 fill.
You for shorts?
Uh-huh. So I have one fill at 169 and I have one at 90. So, you know.
Looks pretty bullish to me.
Does it?
Nah. I'm just
actually adjusted my stop up to 205 just because I want to make sure that I'm giving it room to breathe. Here we go. My average is 180. So, you know, we'll see what happens. But I got a nice wide stop here, right? Up at 205. We'll just hang out. We'll see what happens.
I don't like this construct.
I feel like it's just gonna die here. Just kind of got to wait for it to happen because this doesn't look. There's no strength here whatsoever. If there's any kind of strength, we would have at least come up and come back towards this area. But the fact that we're just meandering about down here, you know, makes me think that this market is actually really weak. There we go. That was a nice little shakedown. I'm gonna adjust my stop down to break even here at 180. And again, like I am unironically targeting down here. Who knows if we'll hit full profit target? But I'm looking down at like 132 right now. As I said, you know, when we were fucking up here. So just kind of hanging out. I'm gonna move my stop slightly into profit, just because in case some dumb shit happens, I want to walk away with something and not nothing. So stop to 170. We'll chill. We'll wait. We'll chill. We'll wait. We'll see what happens. You see this fucking stupid ass article popping up right now? It says Dow in correction. Can Fibonacci support spark a what is it? Spark a rally? Spark a reversal. That's fucking God, man. Who wrote this? Oh, of course, it's Reuters. Yeah, stick to reporting events and stop trying to give us the fucking technicals, okay? You fucking retards.
Yes, Kira, we are in a short. Or was. I've already taken profits here.
I'm still in it. I'm still in it. Like, I'm just waiting, dude.
Yeah, I took profits at like 135.
Yeah, I'm chilling. I am not in a rush whatsoever. I am gonna move my stop though. I'm gonna move my stop down to 160.
Holy shit, you're shorting right now? That's pretty late, Kira.
Yeah, it's a little late, Kira.
I would have at least waited for like a retrace to 170 or something.
Yeah, I'm literally the only reason that I'm short is because I was already short up here, right? That's the only reason. Because
But it seems to work out.
Short at 180. Yeah, no, I mean so far, let's see what happens. Because if it hits this price target and it continues to start going down, ooh, look at where our next big liquidity level is.
Have you taken profits at 130 like you said?
I said that that's our first area, okay, and I might de-risk a little here, but
where is the stop at?
160.
The fuck? Why is it so high? Pull it up to 145, dog.
Well, now I can. Now I can. I had to wait for it to go down further. I'm trying to give this room to breathe because this is a volatile fucking mess. And I don't want to get shaken out by some stupid, stupid little pop up. Like I want to secure my fucking gains.
Yes, Chosen, I stole your meme.
He's a fucking thief. But realistically, if you're following along with these calls, and also Icarus, what I want you to realize too is that I am double normal size because I actually doubled down
Oh,
when I was red. So like we're doing pretty okay. I'm gonna shift stop down to 140 here. Start tightening it up as we start to see, potential little bounce. All right. We retested that liquidity level. It held as resistance. Let's see if we can get some more downside. I'd love to see some more downside right now. That'd be sick. I'm stopped out. Well, that worked out. That worked out. I had an average of 180, got stopped out at 140. Double the size. That worked. That worked. Yeah, and if you're late to the move, right, then you wanna just hang out. Well, look at that. Great job, good sister. Hey, go post that in free chat. Go post that in free chat. Let them know what the fuck they're missing out on. Because if you're not in this stream trading with us daily, you're literally leaving easy ass money on the table. See
yeah,
how
today's
accurately
shorts are
we
free.
like, dude, they're fucking free. They're free. We were talking about that last night in a Warrior chat too. And I think Chosen was telling everyone in free chat too. Like, dude, shorts are gonna be free today. And he was right. I agreed with him then, I agree with him now. Right? Like it's the situation is rapidly devolving. So see, this is why it's important to understand like what is happening globally. It's important to understand what what is really driving markets. And it's important to understand that the positioning of institutions is one of the biggest drivers. Ooh, shit. Yo, JP fucking cooking, dog. Yeah, and you want to be out of all positions when Pal starts speaking.
Yeah.
Who's to speak? Just in the next like minute or two, right? What are you laughing about?
From Tim, the announcement in the Wall Street Bets server.
Oh, did I miss something? Is there?
Yeah. He posted a WSB announcement.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. All right, we got 28 minutes. Yeah, that's fine. We're gonna be done streaming right about then. So that's totally fine if he speaks. Then I'll give fucking J Pow permission to speak. How about that? He waits on our request. He starts talking. We're like, hey, you wait. All right, little motherfucker, go ahead. All right, you go ahead. You go ahead.
There might be a possible long
Wow.
-30.
Yo, Riley just completely delisted one of their fucking one of their tickers because it was debt, right? It was bonds, and they just announced that all of it's paid off. Dude, this situation is getting really big. Holy shit. That's big, dude. That's very big. Oh, I like that. Yeah, they did announce that happening in a filing back on the 12th. But, oh man, it's gone now. It's gone. You can't get it anymore. I think it's finally delisted today, is what it looks like everyone's saying. And that's phenomenal to have your debt delisted because you paid it off. Oh, everything's lining up for Riley. I'm still just chilling and waiting here. I don't want to trade this fucking shit. You see these
I
big
was
ass,
about to say, like,
you
I
see these
think we
big
could.
ass wicks? I'm not touching it, dude. I'm not touching this shit.
I think we can call it a day here, to be honest, and just wait and talk, and maybe even watch the
Yeah, just
Powell speech.
watch and see what else happens. Well, I mean, he's not speaking for another 25 minutes, but we got a little time. But yeah, it's I don't know. We'll see if there's more opportunity when we have big wicks like that and we're just kind of rising when I feel like we should be dropping, then that's not something I'm interested in. I want something that aligns with my thoughts, right? More bloodbath. Oh, why'd you paper hand, Garrick? Oh, do you have 3 more? You have 3 more puts? There you go. Be out of them before Powell starts talking.
Yeah.
Because who the fuck, and to be honest with you, I'm expecting him to come off very hawkish. I think that he's going to come out and he's going to be like, ladies and gentlemen, we're fucked. We're cooked. Uh, you're going to have to remove the long dick of Wall Street from your ass, and everything's terrible. See, it's funny too, Garrett, because if you did you follow along with what I wrote in the Warrior Swings, like in the little swings chat? Yeah, how up are you? How up are you? That's the question. Ooh, some 565 0 DTE puts. Let's fucking go, bro. Yo, Garrick's cooking right now. Garrick's fucking cooking. Oh gosh, you're up 28% overall and you sold some at about 97% gains? Huh. Huh. It's almost like if you actually give a shit about making money, that you would just join the fucking warrior. You would join the warrior program. Everybody, let's give a nice fire emoji to Garrick. Let's give a nice fire emoji to Garrick. Look at that. It's almost like if you actually want to make money, that you will hang out with us every day and you'll just trade with us and you'll just read and you'll listen to us talk shit. Right? You'll read the little posts that are coming out on swings and you can make stupid money in this market. Like you really can. You just have to, well, you just have to do the right things. You have to sign the fuck up. You know? An aspect, you can trade the swings. You can. Just take a little bit of time. But we're going to get you there. Yeah, but we're going to get you there. It takes time. Right? Nothing happens immediately, especially not in finance. And nothing worth doing will come easily. Okay. It takes effort, intentionality, lots of work. The fuck is this gap up? What is this? Huh? Why we gap? Win
Average
fill?
market shenanigans.
Win fill? That's like ominous. A big gap up like that that's not filling immediately, coming 20 minutes before Powell speaks. That's fucking ominous, bro. That's
I've
ominous.
dropped
Something's
a
happening.
small long.
I am. Ooh, fuck. It's kind of cold. I am not doing any of that right now. Like I'm just chilling, dude. I've had a good day. I'm
Taking
chilling.
profits here.
I think most of us are doing really good. So we can't make it the new profile picture for the server, unfortunately, because you wouldn't be able to see shit because it's always like a really small little like circular thumbnail. So that's why I just have it. I set it to the N, right? So that way it's Nasdaq, right? Everyone can just see it. They can take a peek. But yeah, you wouldn't be able to see any of like the really good details. And I feel like we'd be wasting that picture. Good job taking profits. See, look at that. You get entries and exits called out. And believe it or not, every single trading day, we do this here. We do this here every day. Tuesday, Thursdays are normally the free days. Just wanted to do a little bit of a impromptu, unannounced free day today because there's decent shot that today is kind of chaotic, and so far, let's take a look. Oh, right, it has been. It has been chaotic. But we have a stream here that's literally designed to help you learn technical analysis, help you keep updated on the markets, and help you make fucking money. And some days are going to be difficult, right? Some days are going to be difficult. But as long as most of your days are good, then you are doing great. Doing great. I don't know if you non-US people have the same actually, I don't even know if fucking young US people had those same ads for Frosted Flakes. Who's going to put you on a warrior role? You're going to have to be yourself, bro.
I know how you can. You can just go to the hashtag referral channel and get yourself a 25% link. And if you get friends in here, they are basically paying Warrior for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that is a good point. So if you know anyone that is you know, learning how to trade and they're looking to really understand this at an in-depth level and they want to make money, then you know, tell them, refer them. We literally have a step-by-step guide on how to refer other people because what we're trying to do is we're trying to grow this community and turn it into something that can be around not just for a few months, right, but for years to come, right? So if that's something you're interested in, you're interested in being part of a large growing community for a long period of time and really learning how to be an effective trader, like this is the spot for you. If you want someone to tell you it's okay and to feel better when you're bagged oh well, I guess it could, that this is not that place, right? Because if you made some stupid mistake, I'm going to be a real straight shooter. I'm going to be like, why the fuck did you do that? And if you say something beforehand and it's something really dumb, you know, that's where our warriors are phenomenal, right? We have a lot of really phenomenal traders in there. And they'll probably tell you, hey, that's a dumb thing and you probably shouldn't do it. So if you're interested in that guidance, be sure to join. Come hang out with us daily. And also, please come on NASDAQ to zero. Aspect needs guidance. What do you need guidance on? He needs guidance on these nuts. What do you want my opinion on? I'm very opinionated. I have a lot of opinions, okay? I have a lot of opinions. Some of them are very unpopular. You guys want an unpopular opinion? While we wait on NASDAQ to die, how about a nice unpopular opinion? Okay. As someone whose ancestors come from Italy, I think that pineapple on pizza is a fucking crime. I think it's a war crime.
Agreed.
I think that you shouldn't be putting fruit on pizza. Would you put raisins on pizza? Like that doesn't make any fucking sense. You think it tastes
You'll
good?
BRR.
You're
If you
wrong.
think it tastes good, you're getting a timeout, dog.
You've had Nutella pizza? Dude, I that's even worse. Hazelnut pizza? I'm actually fucking offended. Aspect, I think that you need to stop taking so many trades and you have to learn how to walk away on those red days. Right? I think you really gotta just tighten up and be a little bit more disciplined. I mean, I know that sounds like a really generic thing to say, but I think you just got to be a little bit more disciplined, man, because you're, you know, like most of your days are green, but then when you have a red day, I don't know what happens, if maybe your risk is too high, or if you get tilted and you start making bad decisions, right? Like that's something that you got to fix, right? That's a thing you got to fix. Like you gotta figure out how to see, and that's the thing. Red days are gonna happen, but if you keep trying to get it back on a red day when shit's not working for you, then why would you continue if it's already not working? You know what I mean? Like there will be days, okay? There will be days where you eat shit. There will be trades where you lose. I took a losing trade today. I'm green on the day because most of my trades were very green. But I took a red trade today. I did lose one. And if you try to fix if you try to fix it by trading more when you're already not doing well, then that doesn't really make sense, does it? Like if you're getting your ass beat by somebody, are you going to get up and say, "You know what? I'm going to keep fighting you right now?" Or are you going to walk away and be like, "You know what? You've already knocked out 3 of my teeth. Before you knock out the other 20, like I'm going to walk away today." And you know what? You live to fight another day. This guy has a sticker from a DayZ server.
Of
This
course.
guy. Daisy's fun. Daisy's fun. I haven't played it in a long time, but Daisy's fun. See, and that's the thing aspect is you have to be able to recognize when shit is not doing great, when you are not performing well, and you have to be able to walk away. But it's the same thing on a green day. Like you see, I'm like you guys watched, right? You guys watched these trades happen. I'm green on the day. Do you see me rushing to do anything about it? No, because I don't want to give it back. So I'm going to be patient. I've already taken what 3 trade, I guess 4 if you count me doubling down on my short, but I've already taken 3 trades. So like I don't really see a reason to do more. They worked out, that's fine. You know, if I see something really clear calling to me, then I'll keep going. But I'm not in a rush to do this, right? Like we'll see what happens. If I get something super clear, then yeah, fantastic. You know, we can do that. But again, no rush, okay? No rush.
All right, guys, I think it's time for the day. Place your bets on Polybets.
On what?
Will on Poly Market. Will Powell say good afternoon or good evening or good morning?
It'll be morning. It'll be good morning.
You think?
Why would he say good evening to you? You're in fucking Germany, bro. He's not German. I mean, he might have like some German ancestry, but you know, he's speaking from the U.S. and the time he's going to be speaking, it's going to be fucking 10:30.
Yeah, but he's getting old. Maybe he has dementia.
I don't think that Powell has. I don't think that Powell has dementia. Okay, he's not Trump. Like Powell is
Or Biden.
incredibly smart. Yeah, he's not Biden either. Jerome, the thing is like everyone gives Jerome Powell a bunch of shit, okay? Because they don't like the way that market makers manipulate when he starts talking. They don't like the way that funds trade when he starts talking. Um, and then you have like a political faction here that thinks that he should just be cutting rates and doing whatever Trump says. But the thing you have to realize is that Powell is in the position he's in because he is number one incredibly bright. Okay, he's incredibly bright, and number two, it's entirely merit based, right? He's been able to kind of keep our economy afloat through a lot of shit. And right now, his hands are a little bit tied, right? He's kind of in a really bad situation no matter what he chooses to do here. And it's not just him making the choice, but he's in a little bit of a bad position here. And it's not his fault, right? So, you know, I think that Powell gets a little bit more shit than he deserves. That's just me. Um, and I'm not like necessarily the biggest fan of him, you know, but he's certainly a step above Alan Greenspan and Ben Bernanke. Like, you know, I know probably most of the people in here don't remember Ben Bernanke, but I promise you, like you prefer Powell, okay? And you definitely prefer him to fucking Alan Greenspan. Yeah, so winner, that's kind of what we were talking about, right? As these institutions and market makers are getting margin called and liquidated, one of the things that they have to do is they have to basically balance their books, right? So all of all of the things that they've been shorting, that's where they have to cover. And all of the things that they're long, that's where they have to sell and take some profits. Right? It's think about them trying to de-risk their book, right? They're basically de-risk their trades. How do you de-risk a situation where you've shorted 50 things and you've longed 50 things? Well, you would cover the shorts on the 50 you shorted, and you would take some profits on the 50 you longed, right? Like just very intuitively, that's what we would do, right? So you're seeing a reflection of that. Okay, you're seeing a reflection of that in the markets right now. You're seeing that principle play out just like that. That's also the reason why like the biggest squeezes tend to happen during like massive downturns, right? The biggest squeezes happen when Wall Street is weak, because if they're strong, nobody wants to get squeezed out of something. Nobody wants to get squeezed out of something. Being in a squeeze is fucking awful. Unless you're the one doing the squeezing. So, yeah, I mean that's generally how this works. Generally how it works. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Like I said, everything's really shaky right now. Um, hopefully we get a little bit of insight as to what Pal's thinking in a few minutes here. Um, I think like the opportunity for morning trading is largely done. I really don't want to trade while Pal's speaking, because you're gonna see these candles just start going fucking crazy, and it's gonna go down and up. It's shake everywhere, and I'm just good off that. Like it's too much for me. It's too much for me,
Too
right?
much winning.
Well, no, the risk just isn't worth the reward. Like I've seen him speak once a month for, God, what's he been around for, like fucking 8 years now? That seems right. About 8 years. So, it's been, yeah, dude, it's been that long. I know. I just had to think back on it too, and I was like, fuck, like how long? How long has it really been? It's been a fucking minute. It's what it's been, man. It's been a while. And he's been hanging out. It's been 87 years. Here's another hot take. Okay, here's another hot take. I think that Rose from Titanic is a major bitch, because she had a ton of room on that door, and she could have been like, "Hey, come get on this door," but instead she let dude what fucking drown in icy water because he's poor. Like she's almost as bad as Grandpa Joe from fucking Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. This motherfucker pretending to be crippled. All of a sudden, you get the fucking news that we got a golden ticket. We're going to the chocolate factory. He's up. He's fucking clicking his heels like a leprechaun, right? Grandpa Joe is a big piece of shit. You want a controversial take? What kind of controversial take?
Don't say shit, he wants to get you cancelled.
What kind of controversial take? How about this? How about this? 90% of retail traders, okay? 90% of retail traders that act like they know what's actually happening have no fucking idea what is going on. And they talk out of their ass, and they say things that literally make no sense. Yeah, I know it's a fact. It's still kind of a hot take. It's still kind of a hot take, right? But they have no fucking idea what's going on. They have no idea what they're talking about. And it's funny because these are the people that are often trying to give tips, but they're like, "Oh, well, don't worry. Strive Asset Management just bought a bunch of Bitcoin. It's going to go to the moon." And now they're bagged like 90% because they're absolutely fucking retarded. And that's what happens when you do dumb shit, is you end up bagged and losing all your fucking money. It was just like all those idiots that didn't understand why Beyond was moving, right? Beyond Meat. You had a bunch of people that were like, "Oh, well, it's squeezing. It's squeezing." Nah, dog, it's not squeezing. You're just falling for a really, really, really obvious trap. So, there's your hot take, bro. There's your controversial opinion. Because most retail traders have no idea what the fuck they're doing, and realistically, they should either get some guidance or just absolutely stop trading. Right? Like, learn how to do it or get the fuck out of the way. That's my hot take. Yeah, Riley is holding up. Riley's holding up pretty well. So, we'll see what happens with that. We'll see what happens with that. All right, let's watch some J Pow candles. Let's see if we get some craziness. I'll hang out and watch for a few minutes. It's funny because there are times where I've been watching him speak, and he'll literally, like, the camera will go onto him and he's walking out to the podium, hasn't waved, hasn't acknowledged the reporters, hasn't said a fucking thing, and you'll just watch the market tank. So, I learned very early on, right? Just fucking, man. What do you think of people telling you trading is gambling? I understand where they're coming from because most quote unquote traders are just gamblers. If you're doing it right, it's not. But what you need to realize is that most people who do trade are gambling because they have no idea. They have no idea what actually goes into it. That was like we had this fucking idiot, right? We had this idiot that came into chat Saturday, and he literally joined in, and with 15 minutes of joining, he was like, "Oh, hey, does anyone need help? Let me know. Just DM me." Talking about taking on students, right? Is basically what he was saying. And then I just asked him. I was like, "Hey, I need help. Like, can you give me a breakdown of all this stuff with private credit?" And he was like, "What's private credit?" And I'm like, "So you're telling me that you're ready to take on students, but you don't know what the function is of one of the most important financial institution types, like literally a multi-trillion dollar asset class, and you have no fucking idea, right? That is your like average trader. You have a bunch of people that really, really think that they know, but they never spent the time to actually learn. So, I understand why people think that trading is gambling. And it has nothing to do with like trading is not gambling. But the way that most retail trades is. So, you know, hopefully that makes sense, right?
Soon we'll get rid of most of those anyway.
Oh yeah. this is what you have to realize, okay? Like I've seen this play out several times now, right? A bunch of times. So everybody's a genius in a bull market. They buy the most speculative garbage. It goes up. Everyone gets hype about it. They buy some more. It keeps going up. It keeps going up, and everyone feels like a genius. And then one day everything gets wiped out, and only the experienced and the strong and the knowledgeable can survive. Like a bull market's very easy to trade. A neutral market, a little more difficult. Bear market, oh, bear market's where we separate the men and the boys. Okay, that's where the rookies and the amateurs get separated from the professionals. It really is. And I mean that in the nicest possible way. I know it sounds super cocky, but it's because it's fucking true. I have seen this happen before. I've been doing this for 13 years. Okay. I have seen cycle after cycle of new traders coming in, getting a year or two of a bull market, thinking that they're untouchable, and then getting fucked in the ass because
I've got a
they
good
have
one for
no
you.
idea. What's up?
Let's just pretend to know or to not know that we are in a bearish market. What do you think? You can place also bets. Will ICT announce its next bearish market algorithm?
I don't know. I don't know. So I think the way that we could figure out if that guy's going to release his new ICT algo, right? I think the way we could figure that out is all you have to do is go look at how much money he's made in the past like 3 years. And if he's out of money, okay? If he's out of money, then that's when he's going to release it, right? It's always just a money grab. It's always a money grab. That's why like I really fucking hate that there are a bunch of people that are like, "Oh yeah, well, I want to sell you my course for $5,000." I'm like, "Fuck that, dude. I think that the right way to teach someone is by teaching them hands-on and, having discussions like this, having discussions like the one that we had surrounding private credit in that video we released, right? Like this is where the true mental gains happen. Aspect. That's a very British thing to say. Here in the US, we don't call them birds. You old fucking yard bird. It's very British, okay? It's very British. We stopped we stopped doing we stopped doing that, okay? Yeah, he's just getting glazed by Harvard. Like I said, there's nothing really truly happening. But that doesn't mean that the markets won't react to his presence because markets are irrational until they are forced to become rational all at once, like during a market crash.
I feel like people would even be as crazy and be like, yo, when they see Powell on the street, like as a pedestrian, and then they're like,
He's
oh my
short
god,
dog.
Fat Powell, short it, short it.
Be fucking funny. That would be fucking funny. All right, well, this looks pretty dead. Like there's nothing really happening that's really worth Pardon me, sorry. There's nothing really happening that's really worth the risk right now. So I think that this is probably a good time for us to step away for today. We'll have another free stream tomorrow. I do have another video that I'm working on regarding real estate funds. So keep your eyes peeled for that. That's probably going to come out sometime later this week, I would imagine. Again, Riley earnings is tomorrow after hours, so make sure that you are keeping an eye on that. If you don't have a position yet, it would probably be a pretty okay time to take a small speculative position into ER. And yeah, we're just waiting. We're just waiting and chilling. So, everyone take care. Make sure that you're safe today. Don't over trade. If you are green on the day, fuck, you did great. Walk away. If you're red, don't let yourself bleed out even more. And I will be around via DM or DM or ping if you need me. And yeah. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow for stream. We'll do this again, and yeah, make some more money. Everybody, thank you so much for stopping by. Have a wonderful day, and we will talk soon. Cheers,
Enjoy
everybody.
your Monday.
Cheers. Enjoy Monday, Manic Monday, Murder Monday. All right, see you guys.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.